All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. It's a tough night tonight. For a few reasons. We played well in the field. We had a catch in foul territory. That was really good. We had several throwdowns to second and third that we should have made some outs on those, but we're getting there. We had a good throw from shortstop, good play at short throw from shortstop. We drop it at first. It's going to happen. We uh, we had a really good play at second base to keep some runners from scoring, keep more runners from scoring. We're working through things like that. We played pretty well in the field. I thought we pitched well. Our starting pitcher had a really good first inning. Got a little wild after the break. We had to deal with a 30-minute weather delay, so that kind of changed things. And so I had gone over and talked to the coaches about it. I said, if, when we come out of this break, if we start walking people, we need to get somebody else in because that's a sign that maybe that break was a little too long. And that happened. But our first pitcher, we ended up with four strikeouts, three walks. The last two walks, the reason I decided to make the change is we actually had 0-2 counts. And then we just we lost those two batters, and that's typically a sign of maybe we're just getting a little wild, or we're getting a little tense, something like that. And they ended up with two hits, a really timely hit in the first inning, and then a timely hit in the third inning, and that was the difference of the game. They scored three, we didn't score any tonight. Rare night that we don't score a run, but also a good lesson for us because we did some things that kept us from scoring runs on the base path or at the plate, I should say. Our second pitcher comes in, he gets us out of the second inning with bases loaded, only scoring one run, then comes in. Um, has one hit and then strikes out the next person. That's really good. The third inning, um, we start off a little while, we walk somebody, we hit somebody, we walk somebody, but then we strike out three people in a row. So I was happy to see that. I didn't want to the way we were batting, the way we were playing offensively. I didn't want to end on that. So the umpire gave the option to. He said, "Hey, we have 8 minutes left. Uh, we're not going to be able to start another inning because we don't start an inning after 5 minutes." Um, but do you want to? It's up to you. Do you want the game to be over? Do you want to play? And I didn't want it to end the way that it ended. So, or the way that it was going to end if we um, at bat. So we ended in the field. We were able to make three outs. That means every inning so far we've made three outs unless time has expired. And that's really, really good for us. That's a good sign. It's something that we can build from. It's something that builds confidence. The thing that hurt us tonight was batting. We all 9 outs they recorded were strikeouts. We had two looking strikeouts. I thought we during the game, course of the game, I thought we had three looking strikeouts. And then the other strikeouts were we were letting some good pitches go. And then we were swinging at some bad pitches. I mean, we had one instance where we swung at one that was a little bit high. But the interesting thing with other umpires, that one may have been called a strike, but with this umpire, that wasn't the case. This umpire is really, really good at calling balls and strikes. I really, really like him. He's really good for the kids, and especially the way that we pitch. It helps our pitchers the way that he calls to teach them what is the proper strike zone. Um, and it happens. The pitcher they were throwing was really efficient. They threw 66 pitches. We threw 79. This is a rare time that we actually threw more pitches than we saw. And so it was good for them. It was good on them. And he wasn't throwing with an arc. And I think that might have gotten in I think that might have gotten in our heads a little bit. But it also wasn't, overly fast or overly hard. It was just without an arc. And so that's, we have to react to that. Especially as the season goes on. Every team has at least one good pitcher, probably possibly more. We're lucky enough where we have three or four that can go at any time, and that's we're fortunate to have that. And so we have to get used to that. That's what baseball is. That's what this game is getting used to good pitching, finding your path forward and your ability to make contact. And tonight we just didn't. We had another situation where we had a 3-1 count. We swung at a ball that we shouldn't have swung at. That would have put somebody that would have put a runner on. And then we would have bases loaded at that point. We'd had opportunity to drive in some runs. And we had a bad swing, and then we had a looking strikeout. And that's gonna happen. Um, we ended all three innings with runners at least on second and third. And so that's something that we can learn from. That's something we can look at. And what we were talking about the players is, look, we can't be afraid of making contact. We can't be afraid of the ball. We can't be afraid of the pitch. Batting is what everybody says they want to do. So when it's our opportunity to get up there, yeah, we're teaching people how to be selective, not swing at everything. And we still have some situations where we're swinging at a lot of things. Um, and we'll continue to work on that, but we're working on being selective, but also when there's a good pitch, then you go for it and you make contact and how to make good contact with good pitches. And we just didn't do that tonight. We didn't push runs across, and that's something that we have to get better at. It's something that we have to work with. So that was it, and I think we can build from this. We will learn from this, and there's a lot of teachable moments. So I'm excited about that. A couple questions if everybody has one. Yeah, yeah. The question was what did we say or what did I say to the players after the game? I care about them. I hope everybody knows that. They know that we're going to celebrate when we can celebrate. We're going to do things the right way, and then kind of build rapport with them where you can be honest with them. And so I was honest with them. I said, look, we didn't play well tonight. We didn't play well. We were during the rain delay, we were doing some things that we didn't really need to be doing. And yeah, that's um, part of that's being kids and getting energy out and everything. But also we need to be prepared for what we're trying to do. And then we just didn't push runs across. We had runners in scoring position every inning, and then we didn't do what we said we like to do. We didn't hit. We didn't make contact with the ball when we needed to do that. And so that's the way it is. That's going to happen. And I said, but also when you play this game long enough, you tend typically win and lose close to the same number of games. Um, and so I told him, I've coached 83 games. I've won 40 of them. Lost, I think now maybe 33, and there's a few ties in there, or 32, and there's a few ties in there, that type of thing. And that's what happens. You play long enough, you win about the same number of times that you lose. And then I talked about the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Major League Baseball team that's been playing since the 1800s. They're one of 12 teams that right now have a winning percentage and overall winning percentage, their historical record. And I think that's 320 something games above 500. And they've been playing a lot of baseball. They've played over 19,000 games, and they've won 324 or 320 something more than they've lost. I mean, that's kind of proof positive that this is all really, really close. And even the major league teams that are under 500, I mean, they're right there as well. They're probably lost 500 more than they've won. And so that's going to happen when you play this game. You're going to have good days. You're going to have not so good days. You're going to win some of those good days. You're not going to win some of those good days. You're going to win some of those not so good days. And then you're going to have a night like tonight where we just, it was a good learning experience, and we can do some things that we can move forward. Yeah, the last question was what did we talk to the umpire about after the game? That umpire, I just said thank you. That umpire is such a good umpire, especially for the way that our pitchers can throw. He's such a great umpire calling balls and strikes. And it was it's really, really fun when he's there, because he also will help the kids through situations, and he'll explain things really, really well. And so I just said thank you. We both, the coaches said thanks. And, if we could, honestly, if we could have him every single game, I would enjoy that. That's not going to happen, but that's something that is really, really good umpire. And on that, one interesting thing is that we kind of learn about what we can do as players and as a team. We learn about what other players can do and what other teams can do, but we also take into account, strategically, what umpires are working that day. And that's nothing, that's not good. That's not bad against umpires. It's just it's good to know, hey, what's this person's strike zone? Is this person's strike zone a little bit larger? Do we need to expand the zone? Is it a little bit smaller? Are they a pretty tight strike zone where, it's good to be prepared for all those. And those are the fun things that we'll start to go over with the kids as well, is some of that strategy and knowing that information when we go into games. That's the stuff that makes this game really, really fun. So we have practice Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to what we can teach, what we can learn, and we have 3 games scheduled next week. We'll come back and try to have a different type of effort, at the plate next week. See how it goes. Thanks, everybody.